Vyacheslav was the eldest in the family, and a year after his birth, his sister Tanya appeared. Their relationship was close, marked by a special bond. It was amusing to hear the adults joking about how it seemed like Mom was sewing a second twin a year later. However, Tanya's wedding to Merit ended this twin connection. Despite Merit not winning Vyacheslav's approval, Tanya seemed to find him pleasant and resourceful. At the wedding, Vyacheslav even compared Merit to a snake. Nevertheless, Tanya insisted that her brother should get married so they could be friends as families. Later at work, Vyacheslav met Sofia, and they even had a bet on who would attract more attention from Sony. For the first 6 months, Sofia successfully ignored compliments and invitations to go out. But at the New Year's corporate party, she herself invited Vyacheslav on a date. Since then, many years have passed. They got married and started planning a family. Sofia changed jobs for a higher salary, and their life continued to improve. They found happiness in their union, discussing in the dark room before bedtime how everything was falling into place, as they had wanted, connecting their lives with the person they had always desired. One day, Vyacheslav's sister, Tanya, suggested having lunch together. Vyacheslav gladly agreed. Tanya mentioned that it seemed like someone had appeared in Murat's life, causing concern for Vyacheslav. He tried to convince his sister not to make hasty decisions, but Tanya provided more and more arguments, and Vyacheslav admitted that there was some truth in her words. The conversation with Tanya made him reflect, and the sudden question about Sofia's potential relationships added nervousness. Vyacheslav responded negatively, but this topic kept spinning in his head, leaving an imprint on his thoughts. He began to feel that Sofia was hiding something from him. Nervousness overwhelmed him when she came home late or didn't answer calls. Slava even contemplated planting a bug to eavesdrop on her, but he dismissed the idea, realizing it would destroy the last bit of trust. Suspicions of infidelity grew. When Sofia returned home with a bouquet of flowers, claiming it was a gift from a colleague who celebrated her birthday, she couldn't take all the flowers, so she shared the bouquet with her co-worker. Her version sounded convincing, and it reassured Vyacheslav a bit. Except for this incident, nothing suspicious happened, and he gradually forgot about his anxious thoughts. However, a friend soon told him that he had seen Sofia in a cafe in the shopping center in the middle of the day. This information stirred him up again. On the same evening, he asked his wife about work, and she talked about a new project, but his words about the cafe slipped out on their own. Sofia explained that she decided to have lunch with a colleague at the cafe to enjoy some time away from work, but Vyacheslav had doubts and he began to worry. Later, Tatiana asked her brother to come to their home and pick up some documents. Merit was at work, and the documents were urgently needed. Slava promised to bring everything necessary soon, and headed to his sister's apartment with her husband. Approaching the house, the first thing he noticed was Murat's car. It was surprising, but he assumed that Merit might just not use it for work commutes. When he tried to open the door to the apartment, he found that he didn't have the right key and the door was unlocked. Vyacheslav expressed his displeasure towards his sister, scolding her for her forgetfulness, but soon it turned out that the reason was something else. Upon opening the door, he heard romantic music playing inside. The curtains were drawn, creating semi-darkness. Tanya was right, and Merit indeed had someone else. Slava pondered about it, but his thoughts were interrupted by the discovery of familiar items: shoes, handbags, and a coat lying on the sofa. He knew these things well, and it turned out they belonged to his wife. Feeling a chill down his spine, Slava shook himself. What the hell is happening here? Hastening to the master bedroom, he abruptly opened the door. Like the entrance, it was unlocked, and a surprise awaited him in the room: Sofia naked with Merit lying on her. Slava had only moments to contemplate what to do, but his hand instinctively reached for the phone, and he managed to take pictures of this intimate scene. Merritt rushed at him with fists, but Slava managed to push him away. Sony froze on the bed, hands covering her body. Initially, he contemplated saying something but refrained, realizing that words would be unnecessary. The situation was evident. Exiting the apartment, Slava noticed Murat's car, which surprised him, but he dismissed it as the car being randomly absent for work. Attempting to open the apartment door with his key, he found that it was unlocked. Vyacheslav expressed his dissatisfaction with his sister for her absent-mindedness, but it turned out not to be about her. Opening the door, he heard romantic music and saw that the curtains were drawn, creating semi-darkness. Tanya was right, and Merritt indeed had someone else. What's happening here? He thought, recognizing familiar shoes, a handbag, and a coat belonging to his wife. Goosebumps made him shudder. Sony was spotted by him on the bed, hands covering her body, instead of talking to his sister, who was worried about his prolonged absence. He sent her a photo that spoke for itself. His wife's infidelity. His sister called, cried, and he listened to her sobbing, not knowing how to comfort her or himself. Sofia, waiting for him at home, was sad and silent, looking at him with hope, but Slava understood how painful it was for her. There was no room for forgiveness and acceptance of the situation. Sofia was told to pack her things, find a new place to live, and avoid crossing paths with them, deciding that she would live with her parents. The only request left was not to tell their mother about what happened. Later, he and his sister marked a new stage in their lives at a cafe near the registry office. The decision to divorce was more challenging for Tatiana than for her brother. Since that day, Vyacheslav communicated with Sofia, erasing her from his life only for important business matters. His revenge included sending compromising photos. Sofia had to leave her job, facing colleagues' hostility. Sony was angry with Slava, but even more with herself for the lack of honesty towards her husband. The positive pregnancy test was the last straw. When Sofia discovered two lines on the test, a wave of emotions engulfed her and she began to cry. Sitting on the floor in the shopping center's restroom, sharing this news with Merritt, she hoped for his joyful reaction and support. However, unfortunately, Merritt was not ready for such responsibility, and at the first opportunity he avoided Sony, blocking her on social networks and adding her number to the blacklist. At that moment, she remained deceived, alone with her feelings. Such was the course of events. Share your opinion in the comments about this situation and the behavior of the characters. Thank you for your attention, and please subscribe to the Stories for You channel. All the best.